With these seventh bass chords, you're going to be able to play so many different songs in lots and lots of different styles. We're going to start off by playing all of the seventh chords found in G major. I'll explain a few things as we go, but this is what it is. We have a set of chords on the E string and a set of chords on the A string like this. My intonation's a bit dodgy on this bass, that's why I had to go down there a little bit. Let's start off just by explaining a few things and showing you the seventh chords on the E string roots first. So the example I'm giving you now is in the key of G major. This is G major. As bass players, we often play arpeggios, not chords, but more on that later. That's a first, third, fifth, and seventh from within the scale I just played. You just find number 1, 3, 5, and 7. Right, so a seventh chord is a chord that contains a seventh. So here we go. We'll run through it, I'll show you. So G major 7 is the first chord. This is a chord diagram. You have the root here on the E string in this red colour. We have a major seventh here, and that note is a tenth. It's a major third up the octave. Very simple voicing. Using fingers 1, 2 and 3, although you can use 1, 3 and 4, probably just as good. And I'm using free strokes in the plucking hand. So that's thumb, index and middle. They're all taking care of a string each, the E, the D and the G. And a free stroke is where you pluck and you come away from the body of the bass. You can play them all together at the same time or in different permutations. Okay, so that's a G major seventh. And this is just the diatonic chords we get from that one key. That's all the chords from this key. You can change it to any other key on the bass in music. The first chord is always major 7. Then we have an A minor 7. So this is how you play it. First, second and third fingers, they're all on the same string, the fret, sorry, all of those notes. So can you see how I'm just positioning my hand so I can get all of those fingers in one line there, 1, 3 and 4. This hand is not going to do anything different. Thumb, index, middle, just staying there the whole time. 2 frets higher, we get a B minor 7. So this is the 1 chord, this is the 2 chord, this is the 3 chord. 1 is always major 7, 2 and 3 minor 7. Yes, look, I know that we don't do this on bass, but the whole point is that you can compose, you can jam, you can learn about harmony, you can have some fun. And I'll show you later on how you can actually use these notes in bass lines. Think about it. A chord is just an arpeggio with notes played together. We generally play arpeggio notes. So stick with me, I'll show you how to do this. Then we have the 4 chord, built on the C. It's a major 7, C major 7. Again, I've got 1, 2, 3. You can do 1, 3, 4 as well. But you've heard that kind of thing, a 1 to a 4 that would be. And that's what musicians do. They label them with Roman numerals, uppercase for major, lowercase for minor. The 5 is dominant 7th, and this is how we're playing it. We have a root. Second finger on the flat 7. That's almost exactly like it is exactly like a minor 7 chord, except we have a major interval here, major 3rd, or major 10th up the octave. I like to play it like this, fingers 1, 2, 4. That's arpeggiating it. I'm going thumb, index, middle. In a minute, I'm going to take you through a couple of jazz standards and do some improvising as well. The 6th chord is minor 7, exactly like the 2 and the 3 chords. When you play chords, you need a bass that has excellent intonation. This is a bit, I need to set this bass up. It gets a little bit out of tune up here, so I'm really sorry about that. We'll try our best though. The final chord, the 7 chord, we're going to do something interesting here because this is a minor 7 flat 5 chord, or a half diminished. That means the same thing. And the root, the 7 and the third, is the same as the 6 or the 2 and the 3 chords, like this. But it doesn't give us the flavour. So I'm just going to reach my little finger onto the C on the 15th fret, and that gives you the flavour of that chord. It's a bit hard to play though. So you can maybe just play like this. Ignore that G string note. That's the 7 chord. And then we've got the G major 7 to finish. You can hear the scale going on there. And we're just harmonizing on top of that. Those are the 7th chords on the E string, and we had 4 qualities. That's whether it's major, minor, dominant, or that half diminished. The 1 and the 4, major 7th, the 2, 3 and 6, minor 7, the 5, dominant 7, only place you get that, and the only place you get half diminished is on the 7 chord. Let's do exactly that same thing on the A string now to give us another set of shapes. So 1 chord, G major 7, here's the shape now. We have a root, a major 3rd, and a major 7th. So it's kind of like the same as that with a different organization of notes. I'm using fingers 2, 1, and 3, quite curled. You don't want them flat, and then that will be choking strings. So it's a slightly different thing to fretting as you normally would do. Then we have 2 minor 7s, A minor 7, B minor 7. This is the shape, 2, 1, 3. Because my intonation gets a bit suspect here, I'm going to play the C major 7 down here, which is the same shape as the G major 7. I'm putting the bottom of my hand just on the E string so that it doesn't ring out. This little triangle shape. We've got fingers 2, 1, and 3. Root, major 3rd, flat 7. That's what a dominant 7th is. Just as a precursor to later in the lesson, we can know the chord shape. Of course, we're not going to be playing that 99% of the time, especially in bands, okay? But you know that you can play those notes separately. That was the shape on the... So, we can use them. There aren't many notes there, it's just 3. We probably want to know some other notes surrounding it, but that's the point. A chord and an arpeggio are so related. 6th chord, we're now on E, 7th fret of the A string. You can download this PDF for free, by the way, so don't think you have to learn everything right now. You can play 2, 1, 3 or 3, 1, 4. Experiment, see what works for you. That's the 6th chord. Now, this is how I'm going to play the minor 7 flat 5. First finger, that's the root. There's the 3rd on that interesting sounding flat 5, and the 2nd finger on the flat 7. I'm just using the tip of my first finger, I didn't mention this before, but on the A string I'm using it just to touch the underside of the E string, and that mutes it. It's kind of like an insurance policy with this as well. Then G major 7. Now these chords put together in certain orders make up chord progressions. So what we'll do now is I'll run through a couple of jazz standards. I'll put the chords up here. You can have a go at this as well. The first is All the Things You Are by Jerome Kern, a classic jazz standard. And we have the chords that we'll run through. Now here, we're not using chords from that key, but the shapes remain the same. All you need to do is memorize the 4 7th chord shapes that you get on the A string as the root, and then the E string. And then you select the best place to play it. Now, you must absolutely know your notes really well. F minor 7 is the first chord, so you need to know quickly where F minor 7 is. It's a good note learning exercise. it is the 8th fret of the A string. B flat minor 7. That's the closest place, 6th fret E string, so I need the E string root shape, minor 7. E flat 7, A flat major 7. It's a bit muddy here to play a D flat major 7 here. You can play it here as well. D minor 7. I'm going to pause there. D minor 7, G dominant 7th, C major 7. That's a 2-5-1 in the key of C major. So that's one reason that it's really important to learn these chords. You might be aware of a 2-5-1. You might have heard of that. It's very common in jazz, and you can play it and hear it and hear the relationships. It's great. Then you can play the notes individually of the chords. Perhaps that's for another lesson. We'll stick on this. Then we're on the same root, and now it morphs into a C minor 7. We've modulated this. Jazz does that all the time. F minor 7. So fingers 1, 2, and 3, you've got these chord shapes to memorize, don't forget. So when I go from the C minor 7 to the F minor 7, you've got to move your first finger to here and your second finger to here. I can leave the third finger there. You could do something like that just to get the changes together. I'm plucking everything at the same time. Can you see how my arm is moving? I'm just really targeting the notes I have to move to, and it just takes a while to get that movement going, but you can do it. B flat 7 now. Dominant 7 to E flat major 7. And it's all about knowing where the notes are. E flat is the 6th fret of the A string. I'm on the A string, so I use the major 7 shape. A flat is the E string, 4th fret, so I use that shape. Now A minor 7, D7, G major 7. Another 2-5-1. This time in G major. This is a good example of a jazz standard that modulates, goes to different keys. Let's look at the C section here. I'll just do that and then I'll move on to the next one. So A minor 7, let's do it here. D7, G major 7 for 2 bars. F sharp minor 7, B7, E major 7. Another 2-5-1. I love this song because it's melodic, it's slow, and it modulates to different keys. It's interesting. But notice that it's still just a 2-5-1. It's nothing that scary. F sharp minor 7, we're on the 9th fret of the A string. B7 is the 7th fret of the E string. So you need to use the relevant shape. 7th fret A string is E major 7. I'm going to move to the next standard, which is Blue Monk by Thelonious Monk. And here we have dominant 7th chords most of the way, and really a blues. So B flat 7. Let's do a rhythm here. Let's maybe that rhythm. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. To reiterate the point, you know this, but you're not going to play that in a jazz jam. This is just for fun. This is just for practice. You would play a arpeggio based line, okay? I'll play the whole thing. So B flat 7 is on the 6th fret of the E string. So using that shape, E flat, 6th fret, A string. There's that a lot. Where when you go to the A string root, you can just clamp your thumb over the top just to stop the E string from ringing out. C minor 7, 8th fret, E string. That's a 2, 5, F7. Then we're onto the B flat 7 again. You can take any chart, any jazz standard chart, and run through it. Now there are a couple of other chords, these aren't the only chords, namely a diminished and an augmented chord. So these aren't the only ones, but they will get you through most jazz standards. And let's look at a few chord progressions in this key, and let's just get creative. I'll do this in real time. This should give you some ideas. You can practice this at home. And also, I might start to make up some actual bass lines, since that's what we do, right? We're bass players. Let's do a 2-5 progression. This sort of sound, a bit like Good Times. So that's a 2-5 in this key. Let's do it. A minor 7. I'm on the A string, so I'm using this shape here. Then the 5 chord is that dominant 7th. In this key, it's on the D7, the D, sorry, which is the 10th fret of the E string. So those are the two shapes. I want you to do something here. Memorize where the notes are that are on the D and the G string. So frets 10 and 12, and then 10 and 11. And the root notes are A to D. Using the 5th frets. Now do this. Connect those notes to the 2 that we saw. So the first chord is this. So there are the chord notes. If you play them like this, it's a chord. If you play them separately, well, that sounds like a bass line. We're using the chord tones there. So for A, these ones fit. For D, those fit. So this is how you could use these chord shapes to make up bass lines and fills. When you do this, by the way, it's called a double stop when you play 2 notes together. Loads of great bass players use double stops. I'm thinking Chuck Rainey and Peg by Steely Dan. What about a 1-6-2-5 progression? So that's G major 7. E minor 7 is the 6. 2 is the A minor 7. 5 is the D7. Always look on the bright side of life, I think is that chord progression. With 7ths included, it tends to sound quite jazzy. If you take 7ths out, it sounds a bit less like that. But this lesson will just stick to 7ths. What about one we talked about earlier, 1-4? So that would be G major 7 to C major 7. So here is G major 7. C is very close by on the E string, 8th fret. These notes are coming from the key, which is G major. You can play notes around this sort of idea of chords and melody too, using notes from the key. One exercise I encourage you to learn, I've got it in a book, I've got it in lessons, I've been doing this for over 30 years, is where you play the arpeggios rather than the chords. So in G major it would be this. So that is the arpeggio version of the exercise I showed you before. Whether you're running up a scale harmonizing it in chords or in seventh arpeggios. It's the same thing. You're harmonizing a scale. And that really is the cornerstone of understanding music theory, because so many songs in the West anyway use those chords stuck together in different orders, whether in one key or moving to different keys. You must learn all of this in different keys. But for now, what I'd like you to do is just go to the link below, and then you can download the two sets of shapes, one for the E string, one for the A string. I'll put the chord progressions for those two standards as well, so you can run them through that. You may find yourself struggling to know where the notes are, maybe around here. That just shows you that you need to know the notes better. Once you do that and you know the chords, you can do anything. You can just do so many things. What I'll do now is I'll link to this lesson, which is showing you how to play the arpeggios in one key. It's just absolutely one of the things that you really, really need to learn on bass. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.